So, what is going on, people? It's been a couple days since I sat down here, did a video, but not as many as it's been in the past, like last week or so. Kind of getting back into a nice little groove, which is good because it helps with like the views, you know what I'm saying? Like, so people come by. Speaking of which, I did happen to hit, what was it, 100,000 views, something like that. So that's cool, right? People are watching things. So thank you. If you're one of those people watching my videos, which you obviously are, thank you for doing that, and please continue to do that. So, what are we here for today, right? You saw the title and all that stuff. It's another one of those performance reviews, right? This time on some Vapormaxes. It's going to be similar to what I did with, what was it last week? The Ultra Boost 4.0 to the 19. Originally, I did think that those Game of Thrones were 3.0s because they looked like 3.0s, but after a little back and forth, well, not so much a back and forth, but after a little bit of talking with me and my kicks, realized, hey, they're actually 4s. He thought they were 2s, you know, so we were both wrong initially, you know, well, totally, we were just both wrong. But yeah, so there was that. So this time around, I got these, right, Vapormaxes. Vapormax Flyknit version 2 and Flyknit version 3, right? So I picked, initially I was going to go with the red Orbit because according to my Garmin tracker, those were the least run-in ones. But after talking to Mus or Gunplay in the comments, I kind of felt like bringing these out, so I brought these out instead. And I wanted something that I hadn't used a whole lot because these I've worn a handful of times, but I'm just getting back into the running portion of my working out. So for that reason, it just didn't make a whole lot of sense to get something that had been super broken in already, you know? I wanted an even playing field. So this was pretty close, right? Not a mile for mile thing, but it's kind of hard to gauge, like just wearing something through the day versus a run or two, right? It's a little different. Anyways, so first off, similarities and differences, all that stuff. The biggest difference is going to be the upper, right? On this, they're both Flyknit, so I mean there is that. But this, you've got more of like it's more of a bunch of parallel lines kind of look, whereas this is just a very plain upper. I mean, you can look at it, you can kind of tell it's like that it's Flyknit, or at least you would assume. But this one gives you more of a knitted look. So that did help with the overall feel of the shoe on these. It felt more like your foot had a little more freedom to kind of move around and everything. It wasn't a huge difference, to be honest, because I went out like I did last week. I ran a mile in these just to compare, right? And I didn't notice like a huge night and day difference overall like I did with like the Ultra Boost 4s to the Ultra Boost 19s. But it was a difference, I'll say that, right? So these, right? Being like this Flyknit upper, it just felt like it was knitted in a better way to give you a little more flex where your foot needs it the most. And also, I don't know why exactly, but I always felt that these didn't fit very well, right? So I would always say to go up half a size on these, on the 2s. But these, I went with my normal size 9. These fit perfectly, right? So giving you a better fit also helps with the performance, right? I mean, you can't say it doesn't. And past that, also along with just like the front of your foot feeling better, the back also had there's a bit of a different styling to the heel cup here. On this one you see it's like largely one piece, this big black piece, and then that's the same as on the other ones, I believe. Actually, no. This is also new, right here. The plastic part that comes up a little higher. On here, it's a little broken up, and even just to the feel, you can feel that this one feels a little more solid. And I didn't really think much about that, but as I started running in these, I did notice that while I didn't have a problem with the 2s, I didn't feel my foot was about to fall out or anything. With these, I did feel locked in a little better. So that's a nice advantage, right? And past that, I don't know if it was just me or what, but like I said, I hadn't really broken in the volts. I mean, I hadn't really broken in these, the 3s, but they actually felt just as comfortable as these, which is, I'm not sure what that comes into, because I was looking at the actual midsole and the construction of that between seeing if there's any change between the actual VaporMax and the upper, and comparing the two, there really isn't. They look like they're, unless it's just a different material, which it's kind of hard to gauge because this one it has to be a different material just to be so clear. But overall, things look very much the same. So I don't know if it was just because they offer a better fit and I was able to go with my normal size. Maybe that was part of the reason they overall just felt better. But that's really the gist of it. These just feel better overall when you're running in them. I mean, from even varying up my strides, shorter strides, longer strides, there was nothing that really made the other ones better, you know, because that's the thing. When you're running, you want to have a good stride, right? Because that's what it kind of helps you save a little bit of energy by not making those short, choppy steps, and gives you like a nice push off of, you know, to get around the track quicker. But anyways, just looking at these, those differences, they may seem minor, but they translated into just a better feel overall. Took a few seconds off my run time, but you can chalk that up to a couple of things, right? So I'm not going to say that these will make you faster, but in a sense they kind of can, just because they feel better, right? So the more comfortable you are with your feet, the better you're going to perform. It just works out that way. But past the performance part of it, just the visual part. Now that's where things get a little tricky, because I like these, right? I like these a lot. The VaporMax 2s, that is. And the Flyknits are great. I mean, the 3s are great too. But I kind of don't know which one I like more, because one of the advantages to something like this, being how the knitted parts are, it gives you a little more room to add in a lot of extra colors, maybe do some different designs, things like that. Whereas on these, it's, even with like the multicolored ones of these, they don't do a whole lot, right? They're nice, don't get me wrong. The multicolored Flyknit 2s, go check out the review. I'm pretty sure I did a review on those. But yeah, these, they're looking pretty fine and everything, but I'm just not really sure which one I prefer. If you're more of like a solid color guy, you probably want something like this. If you like the different colors and, you know, a little more flair to your things, you'd probably want to go with these. But overall, the performance difference wasn't night and day like the Ultra Boost was, but these still do get the edge. And if you're gonna just wear them as like a casual thing, it's a pretty even playing field for that, because you're just gonna be walking day in, day out, whatever. But I don't really have a whole lot else to say about these. I just wanted to kind of, after having some conversations in the different comment sections of other videos or in Instagram somewhere, I just wanted to do a little comparison to see how I feel. So obviously, the next step is, okay, well, what about the VaporMax versus the Ultra Boost, right? So hopefully that video will happen maybe like next week or something. I got some other things to do this week, but if time permits, I'll knock it out this time around, but we'll see what happens. Because that's a question that comes up from time to time, right? But overall, just to kind of wrap things up, these right here, it's a better fit. I was able to go with my true to size as opposed to these, which I always felt fit a little small, so I had to go up half. I don't know if there's an actual difference between the actual upper and the midsole, but they felt better with each foot impact. The heel, it gives you a lot more security feeling back there because of the redesign, and even with the front, the Flyknit around the front, it seems to flex a lot more where your foot needs it the most and still kind of hold you in where it needs to be locked in. Because again, one of the things with these was, since I felt like I needed to go up a little bit, the fit just wasn't there like how I wanted it to be. Like the security just wasn't there when I was running around. So that's going to be it for me, really. I don't really have anything else to say, but if you have any other questions, just let me know. I try to respond to every comment, except for that guy who was like, are these for gay people? These. You know who you are. I was like, what? Kind of dumb. I skipped over that comment. Anyways, so that's it for me. You guys have a nice rest of your day, rest of your night. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions or if you want to see anything else. I try to give back to the people because you guys are watching my things, right? I appreciate that. So if I can tailor what I'm doing to something you want to see, obviously that makes a lot more sense, right? But I won't know unless you tell me. You know, you don't know what you don't know. So that's it for me. Again, come back later. I'll have another video sooner. Or actually, yeah, come back tomorrow because I should have a review done. I got a box today, so I'll be doing that tomorrow. I don't really feel like doing it tonight. Just don't have the time. All right, later, people.